It's a big week, the final week of the fantasy season for most leagues. But the point is, we have a huge week in week 14. I'm going to go over some must starts that you need to have. And of course, top it off with a bold prediction for week number 14. Hey, what's up, guys? If you're here for the first time, my name is Ivan Herrera, and the mission of this channel is to bring purposeful community to fantasy football. I am so honored that you're here watching. It would mean so much to me if you hit that like button, as well as hit that subscribe and that push notification bell. That way you can be alerted whenever I drop a video. And we have a jam-packed video today. We're going to be going over some of the most important players that need to be in your lineups, and we're going to kick it off starting with Michael Gallup out of the Dallas Cowboys. I get that he's the third option in Dallas, but over the past couple weeks, he's been getting 27 total targets. And in that span, he's actually been averaging about 13 fantasy points, which would make him wide receiver 19 during that span. And if that doesn't add any more to it, the matchup going up against the Washington football team is a juicy one. The Washington football team gives up the third most fantasy points to the wide receiver on a points per game basis. And I believe that with Zeke being a little hurt, with Tony Pollard having some injuries himself, Dallas is going to have to heavily rely on their wide receivers. And that's why the passing game is going to be a huge part as to why Dallas is going to win on Sunday going up against the Washington football team. So start Michael Gallup in confidence. He to me is a flex, solid wide receiver 2 going into week 14. The next player I have is wide receiver from the Los Angeles Chargers, Mike Williams. So it's no secret that with Keenan Allen out, Mike Williams should be getting most of the target share there for the wide receivers. And I also love the fact that they're going up against the New York Giants. The New York Giants have allowed the 4th most targets to wide receivers. And with Keenan Allen being out, Mike Williams naturally is going to get all those looks. And that will make him an effective starter going into week 14. And we all know that Mike Williams began the season hot. He was the wide receiver 2 through the first 5 weeks of the season. Mike Williams cooled down significantly from week 6 over to week 9, but now since week 10, he's been getting 6 or more targets. He's averaged 13.2 points per game since that time, making him wide receiver 18 during that span. And it's easy for me to say that Mike Williams is a must start. But the running back you need to start is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I get that some of you that may have had him drafted him to be a lot more than what he's been so far into the season. But the reason why I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire here is for the matchup as well as the opportunities that he gets. Las Vegas has allowed the 4th most points to running backs in fantasy football on a points per game basis. And I also have noticed too, when you look deeper into the stats for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he gets a lot of opportunities. In 6 of the last 7 games that CEH has played, he's had more than 12 touches in that span. And I believe that with the opportunities that he gets in being part of that prolific offense, on top of that, going up against a juicy matchup, CEH cannot be overlooked in week 14. And is a must start for you at the running back position. And one final player I want to go over is Austin Hooper for the Cleveland Browns. I know, I get it. It's Austin Hooper, someone who's been almost irrelevant the entire season. But I always analyze a lot of things of why I choose players based on history and statistics. And historically, in 2021, the Baltimore Ravens have been terrible going up against the tight end position. Baltimore is a bottom 5 defense going up against the tight ends. And in week 12, even though Austin Hooper didn't do too much, both Bryant and Njoku combined for 6 receptions on 8 targets for 85 yards and 1 touchdown in week 12 versus Baltimore. That would have been tight end 1. Now with both of those players out, all that target share goes exclusively now to Austin Hooper in the tight end position. And I believe that with the connection that Baker Mayfield has with his tight ends, this is a juicy matchup and a player that you need to put in your tight end position in week number 14. All right, now let's get into my bold prediction for week number 14.
It's a bold strategy, Todd. Let's see if it pays off for him.
My bold predictions are typically made to go against the grain. So when there's a juicy matchup, I'm not going to use it as a bold prediction. I'm usually going to look at, okay, let's look at the matchup. Is it a tougher one? Okay, let's see if maybe historically this player's had some success versus this team. And in this case, I'm targeting the GOAT himself, Tom Brady going up against the #1 defense versus quarterbacks in fantasy football with the Buffalo Bills. Brady has shown that no matter what the matchup is, he can be very viable for fantasy football, and that's why I'm choosing him going up against the Buffalo Bills. Back in week 3 versus the Los Angeles Rams, he put up over 400 yards on that amazing secondary, and I believe that he can do more of the same going up against the Buffalo Bills in week 14. My stat prediction for the GOAT is going to go as follows. He's going to go 24 for 32 for 381 yards, 3 touchdowns, giving him more than 27 fantasy points in week 14. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video. It means the world to me that you would watch this far. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, check out some of the other videos I have here in my channel, and also be sure to send me a comment. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see next, so that way I can provide the best for you, the 100 crew. Best of luck to you in week 14, and as always, keep it 100.